Welcome to Market Blaster, where we blow apart the stock market and put it back together so that it makes sense for you. I'm Forbes Markets editor John Dobis. Well, the monthly employment report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics was a bummer this morning. 115,000 new jobs created last month. 165,000 were expected. Sure, with previous 2 months were jacked up by 55,000 jobs approximately, but the trend is going lower. Unemployment rate did dip to 8.1% from 8.2%. Don't whip out your party hats and expensive beers, because that was only due to people dropping out of the labor force. More on that later on. But stocks, they took it squarely in the kisser. Batman style. Pow! Bam! There's the kisser right there. Down 1.66% on the day for the SPY, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. You can see right here, we're back down to where we were, in early April. So don't, go board up the house and head for the hills quite yet. But a little bit of a rout on Friday. One thing that's positive is it just came down to the 200-day moving average. The civilian labor force participation rate. This is the percentage of the population over the age of 16 that has either has a job or is looking for a job. It's gone down steadily since 2002. We can look back from history. This is since 1948 right here. It rose after the war, and as women from the 1960s onward came into the labor force, more people as a percentage of the population were working. More ladies were not staying home. They were out and doing things in the workplace. Well, it's come down since W and now Obama have been in office since about 2001. Well, what's causing this? It's not that we're all becoming lazy, but a little bit more on that too later. Population trends have a big role. This is about 1936 right here. So people who turned 62 in 1999-2000 were born in that 38-39 time frame. So that's why, and this is escalating, the number of births, of course. This is the baby boom between these two arrows, 1946 and 1964. So we're going to have a lot of people who are going to be retiring, and that's sending Social Security deeply into the red. Last year, we started running a deficit in Social Security. By 2035, if we don't do anything about it, it's going to be $350 billion. Not too good. Entitlements also. Look at this. Here's 2011 at 10.4% of the total federal budget. By 2050, they will be exactly what our revenues are, about $3 trillion, and then 25.7% of the entire federal budget in 2085 if we don't change things. So we've got trouble, possible bankruptcy on our hand, because this is the interest payment on the national debt. If we don't get more people working in this country and people who are working to make more money, we're going to have some serious freaking problems. We're going to have to pay higher taxes, the lowest, the middle, and the highest tax bracket, from 10% to 25%, 25 to 63. This is by 2082. This is if we have to fund all of these entitlements just through tax hikes. So we got to change something. But for now, are we a nation of zombies? Are we just looking for some brain to eat, some flesh to munch on? Well, we do know how to take care of zombies, don't we? It says first step is avoidance, second step is termination, third is disposal. And of course, handguns used in 85% of all outbreaks. This is obviously all just fictional stuff, but there's a great zombie fascination in this country. Perhaps because of 4.5 million more people in the last 3 years who went on Social Security disability insurance. A lot of people are taking money out of the government and fewer are putting it in. That's a problem. But zombies need to be stopped. They can be stopped with firearms. Sturm and Ruger, look at this stock right here. RGR, up from $15 a year and a half ago to $52. Down a lot today, but good move for Sturm Ruger. Smith & Wesson, 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and it'll blow your head clean off. You know him, Dirty Harry. It's a Smith & Wesson model. SWHC up from $3 to $8 just since Christmas time. A lot of stocking stuffer snub noses out there, I guess. But the gun stocks are doing quite well. From guns to France. France has a presidential election on Sunday. The socialist challenger to President Nicolas Sarkozy, François Hollande, is expected to win this race. Yeah. Look at the French stock market. You can see it's down 10% since late March as the market kind of got a whiff that he was going to win. He'd be the first socialist since old Frank Mitterrand, François Mitterrand, 17 years ago. France Telecom. 13% dividend yield. Nothing's free in this world, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. A socialist government coming into France might, put some price controls or do something bad to France Telecom. But if you're willing to take a little bit of a risk, you get yourself a 13% yield and maybe some recovery in the stock. The tumbling jobs number and the tumbling stock market had an impact on oil also. Oil, look at this. This is yesterday. Here's today. Crude oil, we're talking about West Texas Intermediate, falling from 102.75 down below $100 per barrel. $100 per barrel for the first time since February. Look at that right here. Was as high as 110 not long ago. $100 oil below it. So the energy spider is getting dragged down with it. This is the XLE. It's down 10% since late February, kind of in sympathy with the oil price. You've got, want to make some money off this sucker? Buy the DUG. The DUG. You say, what's that? Well, it's the ultra short oil and gas exploration stocks. So you get 2 times in the opposite direction. You can see how it's picked up nicely there. Rig has been beaten down, more than 10% down from its high. Transocean, the company that provides some of the most abundant subsea submersibles, not submersibles, but platforms, deep sea platforms. Stock down another 4.4% today. Apple, going a little bit soft on us right there, a little bruise in the apple perhaps. Apple down to $565. Apple's down to the price it was back in March, 2 months ago. That's a long time in Apple's history. Bank of America, Citigroup, those guys in the XLF, down about what the market was down. Still looking fairly decent. The XLF, that's the financial stocks in the S&P 500 index, from their high, not down as poorly as a lot of stocks out there are. Sad news today, of course, Adam Yauch. He died today at the age of 47. One of the members of the Beastie Boys, 47-year-old. Pay attention, my intention is to bust a move. We'll miss you, MCA.